The honourable member for Halifax-Chebucto.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Service, Nova Scotia and Residential Tenancies. In an interview earlier this week about the doubling of homelessness over the last year, which I'll table, Katie Brousseau of Dow Legal Aid said that the proliferation of fixed-term leases is having a real role in the marked increase of homelessness in the city. She spoke about how people sign fixed-term leases because it's their only alternative. The fixed-term lease concludes, the rent skyrockets, and the next thing, people find themselves being handed a sleeping bag in a tent by a social worker. Does the minister agree that the proliferation of fixed-term leases is having a significant role in the recent, very marked increase of homelessness in the city?
The Honourable Minister of Service, Nova Scotia.
Mr. Speaker, to the point of homelessness in a province, it is a real situation, and I would say it's not just in Halifax. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we see it in communities across rural Nova Scotia as well. So it's a reality that our government is facing head-on and taking very seriously. In regards to fixed-term leases, Mr. Speaker, that's one of the topics that stakeholders bring to the table. That's one of the topics they bring to the table, and we respect those conversations and respect their input. And Mr. Speaker, again, I'll say it, and despite what the member opposite will say, when I look to bring forward amendments to this floor of this legislature, we're always looking to balance the rights and needs of both tenants and landlords. Thank you very much.
The honourable member for Halifax-Chebucto.
The minister has not addressed the question. The question which was put by Dow Legal Aid, and I want to emphasize here that Dow Legal Aid is now dealing with a caseload which is in the majority residential tenancies, at the core of which are fixed-term leases, fixed-term lease-related advocacy and cases. So they speak with authority and great experience here in making the point that the proliferation of fixed-term leases is one of the primary culprits when we look at the astronomical increase, the doubling increase of homelessness, not just in the city, but in the province. The minister is right, but that a core cause is the proliferation of fixed-term leases. So I think the minister ought not to evade this question. Does he agree and acknowledge that fixed-term leases and their proliferation is contributing to the doubling of homelessness in Nova Scotia?
The Honourable Minister of Service, Nova Scotia.
Mr. Speaker, I certainly heard the question loud and clear with the yelling and screaming over there. But Mr. Speaker, I'm not dismissing the work that Dow Legal Aid does, and that they do provide input to the department, and that's input that we certainly greatly appreciate and value, Mr. Speaker. As I stated before, there are instances where fixed-term leases do serve a purpose. When people move across the province or move into the province for a short period of time, whether it be students traveling in a different part of the province to further their studies, Mr. Speaker, when a tenant and a landlord agree for a fixed-term lease, they're agreeing that there's a start and end date there, Mr. Speaker. But again, when I will be bringing forward amendments to the floor of the legislature, I will always be looking through the lens of balancing the rights and needs of both tenants and landlords.
The honourable member